7:52. Dr. Jeffrey Lowell joins us via Skype from his perch at Washington University. He's professor of surgery and professor of pediatrics at Washington University. Good morning, Dr. Jeffrey Lowell.
Good morning, McGraw and Kelly. I'm sitting right up on my perch.
Yes, you are. So from what we gather, we are now having some type of travel restrictions with Ebola. They're funneling all the people in from West Africa into 5 different airports. Some of these people are in quarantine. Sounds like we just might be past this whole Ebola crisis. Would you agree or disagree?
Optimistic. I mean, I think it's also, I think, two things are playing out. One, I think we have our plan and response gelling and starting to make some better sense. And two, what's going on in West Africa, I think is perhaps over the peak. So I think those things are worrying, are in our favor.
Yeah.
So those are all good things.
It didn't seem like we were prepared for Ebola. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would say that we didn't do. We weren't. Now we've had opportunities in the past to spin this thing up pretty quickly. From maybe 10 or 15 years ago when we had our smallpox scares, and then 18 years ago, however long it was, when we had anthrax. But these are really uncommon things, and I think it probably is okay to kind of keep them in the ready-to-go spot and keep the things that are really common the focus of our energy, like getting a flu shot, or don't drink and drive, or wear your seatbelt, or make sure that the car seat is appropriately secured in the back seat. I mean, these are the kind of common things that affect all of us. It's important to remember that in this whole Ebola thing, which has totally usurped all of our time and all of our energies, to a degree appropriately so. There's been one person has died from it, and 4 or 5 have gotten sick from it and are likely going to get better in the United States. Versus how many people have been injured or killed texting and driving over the last same 3 or 4 weeks.
It's a brilliant point. How many parents don't want to give their children polio vaccines or whooping cough vaccines and all that type of stuff? Whereas here we have vaccines that actually solve many of these problems, in which we choose not to give people.
Yeah, I mean, we have half of our country is riveted to the TVs and the airways to see the latest and greatest on this, but we have solutions to real problems that affect real Americans every day, and we kind of just say, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. Doctor, let's move on. If I were to drink a fully leaded soda, how many minutes would I have to run to burn that soda off?
So real soda, say, has about 250 calories in a typical 20-ounce soda. So that would take about 5 miles of walking, or about 50 minutes of running.
See,
maybe a little bit less.
that is so not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It is definitely not worth it. But we don't really advertise that, right? Even if you put the calories on the bottle, I don't think that really translates well to what most people think a calorie, how much it's going to require of you to get rid of that 250 calories.
You'd have to run a 5K. Get rid of it.
Would you suggest?
No, more.
Would you suggest instead of putting the calories, put how far you would have to run?
Yeah, or how many minutes you'd have to do on the elliptical to get rid of it. Absolutely.
That's a good point.
This Big Mac costs you 17 miles.
You want to enjoy this thing, enjoy it, but no, you're going to have to spend 3.5 hours on the elliptical to get rid of those calories.
Mm-hmm. It's again another great point. People worried about Ebola, and yet they'll go and eat a box full of bonbons, and not realizing that they are destroying themselves while watching Ebola eating the bonbons.
That's true. But it's okay to occasionally have a this or that, but you have to know that if you want to keep your weight at a steady state, there's going to be a cost associated with that, and you're going to have to somehow do something to get rid of those calories. Otherwise, they'll be in the plus column.
So you would recommend a diet soda as opposed to regular soda?
Yeah. or water, which is cheaper.
Water, which is cheaper. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why he's the best in the business. He's the foremost transplant surgeon in America. He's also a professor of surgery and pediatrics at Washington University, and he's our guy, Dr. Jeffrey Lowell, via Skype. Thanks for checking in. Be safe, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Take care, McGraw. Bye, Kelly.
Bye, Doc.
Dr. Jeffrey Lowell, 50, what did you say, 50 minutes on the elliptical for one soda?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 5 miles. So it's more than a 5K.
Don't drink your calories.
It's such a waste.
Right.
Drink water.
Drink water.
And you can have a candy bar. No, I'm just kidding.
7:58, Tim Weiland in the St.